So Donald Trump said that the stock market would crash under Biden, but it doesn't look like it's going according to plan. And again, I'm not here to be talking about supporting Biden by any means, but this is all I'm seeing on social media. So I wanted to get your guys' thoughts. It says Donald Trump's old stock market predictions come back to haunt him, and it reflects this video. Let me just go ahead and share it with you guys.
If he's elected, the stock market will crash.
Okay. So the Dow's never been higher. The other averages racing along.
That bell marks a new record.
And it pretty much just talks about that the Dow Jones did just break above 37,000. So we can see the Dow Jones futures are still trading up. They're in the green, and they've been looking unstoppable. We can see this overall almost 10-year performance for the Dow Jones. We did see a little bit of a pullback in kind of like middle to mid 2020, and that was because of the pandemic. And then we saw a nice rally, nice pullback, nice rally. I wanted to get your guys' questions because let's be honest, right? Obviously entering 2024, it's going to be election year, which means that, a new president or our current president is either going to be reelected or a new one's going to be elected. And I know most of you guys should be knowing this already, right? Where they're obviously going to do everything in their power to put all conditions to be the most favorable for them to get elected. And I don't think that this is just a Democratic thing, right? For Biden and his party working really hard to try to rally the market. But I also believe that if it were the Republicans, they would be doing the same thing, right? We see it on both sides. I wanted to get your guys' input. Do you believe that the market should be at these levels? Or do you think that, again, the Biden party is simply inflating and doing their part to put the Biden administration in a good position to potentially get reelected? And let's be honest, right? Maybe it's just me. And again, my main focus is the stock market. But based off of what we have going on in the world, our current issues, I don't think the stock market's performance is my main focus, especially with who we currently have elected. And I know we've talked about this before in the past. You know how there's a restriction of how young you can be to be president? Let me know down in the comment section if you think that they can implement a new law of how old you can be to be president, because I feel like that's been a big concern for a lot of people, that at a certain age, you might also not be as sharp as someone would want you to be leading one of the most powerful nations in the world, right? But overall, NASDAQ market ended slightly in the red for the overall NASDAQ market. We are seeing NASDAQ futures slightly in the green, as well as Dow Jones futures slightly in the green. We'll see if this continues into tomorrow. I wanted to also make you guys aware of the different economic reports that are going to be released tomorrow. A lot of these are going to be during the pre-market section, like the Empire State Manufacturing. This is at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Time with an expectation of 3.0. And right around 9:15, we have two economic reports, industrial production, and we also have capacity utilization all around 9:15 a.m., which is 15 minutes before the market opens. The big ones that we're going to be paying attention to during tomorrow's live trading session, if you want to tune on in, it's the second link in the description down below. Would love to see you there. But we have the PMI reports. The PMI reports are going to be 15 minutes after the market opens, and that's at 9:45 a.m. And then a much later report at 4 p.m. It's the net long-term TIC flows, which again shouldn't have too much of an impact to the overall market. But again, it's our job to make you aware that these economic reports are going to be released. I see nothing when it comes down to, Federal Reserve on the Federal Reserve calendar. So no speeches that are planned or scheduled for tomorrow. So unless something changes, it most likely seems like a pretty steady week. There's one thing that I did want to share with you. Obviously, we're coming off of a very strong performing week, and I like to call this headline momentum. Today might have not been the best reflection of that because the markets pretty much, some of them, at least NASDAQ did, gave back some of the gains that they made on the earlier part of the day, and then they ended up selling off towards the later part. I want to see that if there's enough hype in this market, that if the markets just continue to rally till tomorrow's close, just because the market's on track for a very strong performing 2023. We like to call this headline momentum. There's really no fundamental reason on why the markets are going up, but simply because they are performing well and that news gets shared, it gets a lot more people excited, a lot more buyers aware, and creates more buying pressure with these overall markets, pushing prices even higher. But again, during these specific times, you just want to be aware of both sides, making sure that you have a price target in mind of where you're going to be able to lock in profits and making sure that you don't give back your gains if markets do end up pulling on back. But again, this is something that we'll talk about in tomorrow's live trading session. I hope to see you there. It's the second link in the description down below. And if you have any questions about watching me trade live, please shoot me a direct message right now via Discord or via Instagram, and that's the first or third link in the description down below. I appreciate your time. I hope that earned a thumbs up. Do not forget to subscribe, and like always, let's make sure that we end the year on a green note. Take care, team.